Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime versus iPhone SE. That's coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here from Everything Tech, help you to master your technology, and welcome to the Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime versus the Apple iPhone SE. Now I'm doing this video because I had a couple of requests by you, the user or the audience, to check out the J7 Prime versus the SE. Now both of these devices are budget level devices, but the J7 is more of a budget device, whereas the SE is more of a budget device price point, but it does keep some of the more powerful internals. So I think the Apple iPhone SE should win this test pretty easily, but we're gonna find out if that's the case here between the J7 and the SE. Now what I mean easily is in terms of processing speed. So let's go ahead and boot both of these devices up in 3, 2, 1. And you can see the Apple logo does show first there on the right, and the J7 looks like it might be booting up quicker there though. Now the J7 is a dual SIM phone. It has an Exynos 7870 processor, 3 gigs of RAM, and Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. Over here on the SE with the Win to the boot up, it does run iOS 10.3 public beta 7. So let's go ahead and close this out, all these applications here. And you've seen the J7 about 5 to 10 seconds behind the SE. So the SE is just a rocket in terms of how quickly it does boot up here. So I do have the same applications lined up here, but before I go ahead and do the application test, I want to go ahead and clear the cache on both devices. So we're going to go down to storage here on the Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime. And let's just go ahead and clear it over here on the SE as well. So let's go to details here. Let's go to internal storage. Let's clear it there on the SE, and let's clear it here for the J7 Prime to make this test totally fair there. So you've seen, bam. So animations are set to 1x on the J7, whereas animations are not turned off there. Reduced motion is not turned off on the iPhone SE there. So let's begin with the app test. Let's start with AppyGeek, and I did line these applications up to be mostly non-system based apps. A lot of people have been saying that, you know, the system-based apps are pretty quick on any device. So why don't we try some internet-based apps here? First, let me make sure we're on the same Wi-Fi network as well. All right, guys. So we are connected to the same Wi-Fi network now. Let's start with AppyGeek. See which one gets there first. And you see the SE only slightly ahead there on AppyGeek though. Let's come home. About the same going back home. Let's go into Instagram. And you can see the SE slightly ahead, maybe about even there, so pretty close there nonetheless. So let's go into the Play Store App Store. And the SE does win there on the App Store. Let's go ahead and come home here, and let's go into YouTube on both devices. And you can see the SE does load it quicker there, only slightly though, very slightly there. Let's go into My Videos on both. And you can see the SE again. Let's load my latest red iPhone vlog. And you guys can see about the same there, maybe slightly ahead there on the SE. Let's go to Amazon Shopping. And you can see the SE loads that one first, but the J7 right on its heels for being a device of this caliber. It's pretty close to the SE in terms of just regular app openings. So you can see right there, eBay did win on the SE. Let's go to Twitter. So far the SE is taking the win in pretty much every category, but Twitter did open first there on the J7 Prime. Let's go to Strava. You could see that the SE wins that one as well. So it continues its reign. It continues its speed. The SE just continues speeding past everyone. Let's go to camera. And what I mean by everyone is the SE has been one of the fastest phones I've ever used. I think it's due to the fact that it's tiny. It doesn't push a high resolution screen. And that's pretty much it. It runs an A9 CPU with 2 gigs of RAM. There's not a lot of power required to run a screen that small. So let's go into the Best Buy. And I'm talking even the 7 Plus. Like the iPhone SE was easily able to keep up with my 7 Plus. Let's go to Best Buy. And let's never ask this again. And you can see about the same. You know what? I'm gonna run that one again. I tried to double click the Samsung J7 Prime, forgetting that it obviously doesn't have double click multitasking. It has that button right there. So the J7 Prime, even when it closed, opened first. Let's go home here. Let's go to Play Newsstand. And you can see, look like the J7 Prime had that one. It asked for location, but it did have that one. Let's go to Google. And it looks like the SE took it on the Apple phone, takes a Google phone, even on its own application. Let's go to Wikipedia. And you see that one was very close. So you can see the J7 Prime is a very solid performer here. It can keep up with some of the best in terms of processors. Let's go to Subway Surfers. Now here is where the Apple device should just absolutely annihilate the J7 Prime. And it is doing exactly as I predicted here. The SE ready to go. We're still waiting. And this is where the SE is a champ. If you're looking for an affordable gaming device, that 128GB SE that they just announced is going to be a great option for you if you can deal with the smaller screen. This thing can chew through games. You just have to deal with the fact you got a 4-inch screen. Now the 6S might be the better bargain if you're looking at around $499 for that 128GB SE. But hey, it's still a great bargain in terms of gamers if you can deal with the smaller screen. Let's go to Temple Run. And you can see Temple Run just flying open there on the SE, and now the J7. And these are just light games. When we get into more graphically intensive games, the SE becomes even faster. So let's go to Snapseed. And I'm not trying to be biased here. This is my experience. I'm sharing with you my experience. Snapseed goes to the J7. I'm sharing my experience using the SE. I used to own the SE as my main device. This is now just a testing tool device, but I used to use it every day, and it's a beast. Let's go to Uber. The J7 is also a beast for its price, and it continues to impress me every time I turn it on. The J7 Prime did win that one, I would say. So the J7 Prime gets a couple wins here, and let's go into settings here. And you can see J7 Prime looked to have won that one. But like I say, if I missed any of these apps, you can go ahead and comment down below and be like, Nick, you missed that one there. Nick, you missed that one here. I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to show you a test. You guys can go ahead and comment down below if I missed anything. We're going to go ahead and do a multitasking test now. Let's go into Appy Geek. You can see the SE wins there. We're not even going to wait on the J7. SE again. Let's go to App Store, Play Store. About the same there. Let's go into YouTube. J7 has to reload, so I'm giving that one to the SE. Amazon, SE again. eBay, SE again. Twitter. So as the 5S did to the J7 Prime, in terms of multitasking, it is just a faster device. The Apple operating system holds the applications much better in the background. About the same there on the camera. Let's go to Best Buy. The SE, we're waiting on the reload there for the J7. Let's go to Play Newsstand. But this is not the only reason I would say buy one of these devices, just because of the speed test we're doing here. Coming out, let's go into Wikipedia. SE wins that one. Let's go into Subway Surfers. I give that one to the SE. Let's go to Temple Run. SE again, we have a reload there on the J7 Prime. And we have a crash there. Unfortunately, it stopped. So we have a crash. Let's go ahead and hit OK. Snapseed, a reload again on the J7 Prime, and an Uber. SE. So the multitasking is not phenomenal on the J7 Prime. Even though it has an Exynos 7870 CPU with 3 gigs of RAM, you would think that that device is going to be very good in terms of multitasking, and it's actually not the best in terms of multitasking. It's not horrible, but TouchWiz, I don't know, it just seems to not like to play well with multitasking. But in terms of just scrolling through your multitasking tray, both are very smooth here. In terms of general everyday software, both are very reliable, both are very snappy, but the SE is just a snappier performer. Now, you do get theming options here on the J7 Prime. You're not going to get theming options there for the SE unless you really want to go into all that extra complicated like jailbreaking. I mean, it's not that complicated, but it's very time consuming. And this is not very time consuming at all. You can just go ahead in their theme store and pick a theme. But hey, that's pretty much it in terms of the speed test and multitasking test. Now let's just wrap this video up by talking about a couple other things if you're deciding to pick up one of these devices and which one's going to be the better value. Now the SE is going to give you a smaller screen, obviously. We did have to point that out though. A Retina display, 326 pixels per inch. It's going to give you a first generation Touch ID scanner, and I found the scanner on the J7 Prime to be a better scanner. Now the rear camera on the SE is a 12 megapixel, and you get a 13 megapixel on the J7 Prime, but the 12 megapixel camera shoots in 4K slow motion video and 60 FPS on the SE. So the SE is the better camera here between these two. Now the J7 Prime shoots great pictures, but not phenomenal, not professional level pictures. I'd say it shoots really pleasing pictures, but I wouldn't want to use this as my main camera for YouTube and stuff like that, but it would work fine in a pinch. Now on the front camera, you get an 8 megapixel camera here on the J7 Prime with a flash, whereas you get a 1.2 megapixel camera here with Retina flash built into the software, and the SE surprisingly does very well on selfies even though it's a 1.2 megapixel camera. The J7 does slightly edge it out though in terms of crispness and overall detail. Now the screen on the J7 Prime is a 5.5 inch 720 or a 1080p display TFT panel, so not the Super AMOLED variant, but very sharp and definitely sharper than the SE, but I find the Retina display to be better balanced in terms of the overall colors. So this one's kind of a tie here in terms of screen quality in my opinion, and pretty much that's it. I don't want to talk too much more about these. You do get expandable storage here on the J7 Prime, and you do have to go with the storage option at higher price points for the SE. So which phone would I choose if it was me? Honestly, if it was me, I would choose the SE with a higher storage variant, not a 16 gig model like I have here, because I think the SE is going to last further into the future in terms of speed, reliability, and updates. And I would stomach the pains of having, you know, having to give up that 5.5 inch display and just rather get like a cheaper iPad along with my SE. But that's just me. Now, if you already have a J7 Prime and you're like, look, I want to go to the SE, is it a downgrade? It is a downgrade in a lot of areas, but it's not a downgrade in processor speed. So if you're going from the J7 Prime to the SE, you're basically going up in speed, updates, and camera. But I wouldn't recommend you go from a J7 Prime. I was just trying to help those people out who are looking to buy one of these. Anyway, this was Nick here helping to master your technology. Which device would you go with? I want to hear it down below. Comment that in the comment section of this video. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next one, and peace.